that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy.
Imagine the irony of it all. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and the rest of the women on The View have spent years pointing fingers at Republicans, labeling them conspiracy theorists, and dismissing their ideas as unhinged. Yet, as time has unfolded, it's become painfully clear that their own track record is riddled with missteps. Over the past couple of years, their bold predictions and sanctimonious takes have crumbled under scrutiny, leaving them exposed. And now, in a twist no one saw coming, the tables have turned in the most dramatic way possible. Whoopi Goldberg, once the sharp-tongued queen of daytime TV, isn't sitting comfortably on her panel throne anymore. She's in a courtroom, blinking, rapidly, lips trembling, clutching the edge of a table as if it's the only thing keeping her from falling apart. The reason? Karoline Leavitt, a young, fierce, unapologetically outspoken conservative powerhouse, has done what many thought impossible. She's hauled Whoopi into court and forced her to answer for every word she's uttered. This isn't just a story of a heated TV spat gone wrong. It's a full-blown legal nightmare that spiraled out of control, complete with tears, cracking facades, and a media empire teetering on the edge. Before we dive into the meltdown, though, picture this. Whoopi, the unshakable icon, reduced to a trembling defendant, while Karoline, calm and collected, watches the chaos unfold. It's the kind of courtroom drama that keeps gossip mills churning and social media buzzing. So, let's break it down piece by piece and see how this clash of titans went from a daytime TV squabble to a multi-million-dollar reckoning. It all started the way most things do on The View, a circle of co-hosts, a controversial guest, and a political jab masquerading as discourse. This time, the guest was Karoline Leavitt, a rising conservative star who'd already made waves for her no-nonsense style. Joy Behar took the first swing, casually mocking Karoline's political ascent as if it were a fluke tied to her looks rather than her grit. Then Whoopi piled on, scoffing at Karoline's success and dismissing it as a byproduct of wokeness. Right on cue, Sunny Hostin jumped into the fray, waving it off as yet another example of white privilege at work. The trio laughed, the audience clapped, and the segment rolled on like it always did. But Karoline, she didn't flinch. She sat there, silent, absorbing every word, every smirk, every jab. Days later, she struck back, not with a fiery tweet or a soundbite chasing interview, but with something far more calculated, a legal grenade that rocked ABC to its core. Most people in Karoline's shoes would have taken to social media to vent, or rally their base. Not her. She played it smarter, combing through every clip, every quote, every smug remark from that episode and beyond. With her legal team, she built a case so airtight it couldn't be ignored. Then, in a move that stunned the industry, she filed a defamation lawsuit, a staggering $800 million claim that didn't just target Whoopi Goldberg, but named Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the entire ABC network as defendants. The allegations were explosive. Character assassination, targeted slander, and a coordinated media campaign designed to silence conservative voices. This wasn't about petty revenge, though. Karoline made it clear she was after accountability. Her legal team issued a statement that cut through the noise. This isn't about politics. It's about principle. No woman should be publicly dismantled for daring to have an independent voice. Fast forward to this week, and the courtroom is packed. Whoopi steps in. Oversized sunglasses shielding her face, her expression unreadable. But as Karoline's legal team lays out their case, the cracks begin to show. Witnesses describe Whoopi visibly shaking as damning footage rolls, clips of her mocking Karoline's intelligence, her appearance, even her accent. Then comes the bombshell. Documents, emails, call logs, and internal producer messages suggesting the show's team knew exactly what they were doing. They'd pushed Karoline's buttons deliberately, kept the cameras rolling for maximum humiliation, and leaned into the drama for ratings. The weight of it all hits hard. During a recess, Whoopi reportedly wipes away tears, her hands trembling. The transformation is staggering, from unshakable TV icon to a defendant unraveling under the spotlight she once commanded. Karoline, meanwhile, doesn't gloat. She doesn't smirk. She sits there, calm and poised, letting her silence speak louder than any outburst could. Her legal team unleashes a firestorm of evidence, months of footage, transcribed segments, internal show notes, all pointing to a calculated takedown. Then comes the smoking gun, a leaked document allegedly instructing producers to exploit Karoline's youth, push her onto the defensive early, and steer the conversation into hostile territory. The courtroom falls silent. Legal analysts are floored. This isn't just petty TV drama anymore. It looks orchestrated. When pressed about the documents, Whoopi tries to deflect, claiming she wasn't aware of every production decision, but Karoline's lawyer pounces. Ignorance isn't a defense when you have a microphone in front of millions. The words land like a blade, gasps ripple through the crowd, and Whoopi's face pales. Behind the scenes, ABC is in chaos. Executives are scrambling, reviewing Whoopi's contract, weighing the legal fallout, and asking a brutal question. Can The View even survive this? Insiders whisper that advertisers are pulling out quietly, ratings are slipping, and the network's PR team has gone radio silent. Once untouchable, Whoopi is now a liability. Sources say ABC isn't just considering an exit strategy for her, they might be prepping for the end of the show altogether. If Karoline wins, the shockwaves won't just hit one talk show, they'll rattle the entire industry. For years, the hosts of The View have made bold claims, likening President Trump to Hitler, mocking him, shaming him, and, as their critics argue, lying about him consistently. But on November 6th, when election results rolled in and millions of Americans rejected their narrative, the hosts' disconnect from reality became undeniable. Now, with this lawsuit, that disconnect is being laid bare in court. While Whoopi crumbles under the pressure, Karoline Leavitt is proving unshakable. Her steady, fact-driven approach has earned her respect from supporters and even some former critics. Social media is ablaze with hashtags like CHOP, Justice for Karoline, and R, Media Accountability, dominating the conversation. Even corners of the internet that once dismissed her are acknowledging the moment, applauding her for standing firm against a media giant many argue has operated without accountability for too long. Karoline isn't playing the victim here. She's setting a standard, and she's doing it with receipts. Her legal team didn't just bring a few pieces of evidence, they brought the entire ledger, exposing a pattern of behavior that's hard to dismiss. Take Whoopi's past comments, for instance. She's raised eyebrows before, like when she used the Bible to defend gender-affirming surgeries for kids. "This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights," she'd argued on air. "You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender-affirming care? Our doctors are not involved? I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs." And they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? 'Cause God was really clear. It was a classic Whoopi moment, confident, defiant, and delivered with that signature edge. But now, those kinds of statements are being dissected in court, held up as examples of reckless rhetoric. So what happens next? If the court rules in Karoline's favor, the fallout could be seismic. Whoopi might be forced to issue a public apology, pay millions in damages, and, perhaps the biggest blow, step away from The View entirely. The show's fate hangs by a thread. But beyond the courtroom, something bigger is at play. Karoline has drawn a line in the sand, sending a message that media power doesn't mean immunity. Even the most influential voices can't escape accountability forever. If this case is any indication, the era of unchecked on-air takedowns might finally be nearing its end. The hosts of The View have long positioned themselves as arbiters of truth, but their critics argue they're wildly out of touch with most Americans. Election results have shown that voters don't align with their worldview, and this lawsuit only amplifies that divide. ABC recently paid $15 million to President Trump's future library, a move some see as a tacit admission of their own missteps. Now, with Whoopi unraveling in court, the network faces a reckoning. The women of The View aren't just fighting a legal battle, they're fighting to stay relevant in a world that's increasingly tuning them out. So, where do you stand? Did Whoopi Goldberg go too far? Was Karoline Leavitt right to demand accountability? Should The View be held responsible for its hosts' words? This isn't just about one lawsuit. It's about the future of media, the limits of free speech, and the price of wielding influence. As Whoopi's tears flow and Karoline's resolve hardens, one thing is clear. This is just the beginning. The courtroom drama is unfolding, and the stakes couldn't be higher.